Hello, my fellow silver stackers. Today I am starting off a silver giveaway. I'm giving away 10 ounces of my own silver bar in my personal collection for December for Christmas. If you want to enter, all you have to do is hit the like button, subscribe, comment your favorite type of silver or what you think the silver prices will be by Christmas, and one person will be picked by the end of December. Yeah, I'm giving away free silver, so join in, hit the like button, subscribe, and comment your favorite type of silver or the price of silver you think will be by the end of December. Thank you so much. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining and welcome back to Wall Street Bullion. Before we begin, please hit the like and subscribe button, and it will help us grow tremendously. Our guest today is a good friend of mine, Thomas Parilla, president of Parilla Investment Group. Welcome back, Thomas.
Thanks, Ivan. Happy holidays.
Yeah, happy holidays to you as well. Thank you so much for coming down. This movement recently in silver and gold has been, all the buzz and everyone's been talking about it. A lot of people are speculating. There's a lot of rumors online. What are your thoughts right now? What is happening in the silver market?
I think it's beginning to finally reflect reality. We've been stuck in a world for the last 20 years where every time you had a nice size move, the government came, I think the government came in along with the bullion banks, and they just simply shorted it by paper spoofing and, kept the price in line.
Hmm.
Now there's so many people out there that are, demanding physical delivery that it's changed the ball game. And I think it's going to get worse. This last week when we saw the CME halted, it was amazing. They tried to fall back on one of their old lies. We had a technical glitch. Everybody, you know, everybody involved in the business knew that was just a flat out lie.
Right.
And then later you come to find out some of the truth. There was an article printed. I'm going to read it real fast. It's pretty amazing. It kind of outlines what they believe happened in this situation.
Sure.
You had a cash settlement that took place because physical delivery could not. The 7,330 contract silver crisis confirmed that the Comex was faced with an imminent systematic default, forcing an unprecedented intervention. The data suggests the major participants engaged in an hours-long private negotiation on Thanksgiving Day, resulting in an untraceable $65 million cash settlement, a premium of $1.775 per ounce paid by the shorts to the longs. This non-delivery resolution successfully liquidated 6,816 contracts, with the cost borne primarily by the short collective, made up primarily of JP Morgan and their customers, Wells Fargo, and Citigroup. The payment directed to the longs, also oddly enough, JP Morgan customers and Deutsche Bank's house. Basically, what they're saying is this move was a successful forced cash settlement, but it
Right.
only delayed the inevitable. The underlying problem of the physical drain continues, and there's no question the next one that comes is probably going to force a default. That's the situation we're facing now. You've had the situation with the CMA come up, and we've seen these problems coming for months. We've been warning people about shortages in the silver and gold market maybe for a year, and they've
Right.
done a pretty good job of massaging it, moving gold from silver to New York, back to New York. Well, the problem is now you're getting these large orders coming in, especially coming in out of Shanghai. And I think they've got the silver market right now pretty much trapped. And this could be the first shots of World War III, where the Chinese are trying everything they can to break New York and London and take control of the pricing of metals out of Shanghai. And right now, I think they're probably winning. We've seen so many interesting things. I mean, this week alone, I've been telling everybody quantitative easing and rate cuts are coming. And a lot of people are saying, oh, we can't do that, the inflation. But there's no doubt you have no choice. It's either going to
Right.
happen or the whole system is going to blow up in your face. On December 3rd, the United States Treasury bought back 12.5 billion of its own debt. That is the largest Treasury buyback in history. So
Wow.
clearly, quantitative easing has started and with a bang. The largest buyback in history, 12.5 billion, and that took place on December 3rd. Now they're going to follow that up with rate cuts. And again, I know people are going to say, well, that's it. They're going to pause. No way. They don't have a choice. They're going to have to pump liquidity into the market. So once this December rate cut gets in, then they'll start pricing in the next rate cut. And I would strongly suggest you're going to see multiple rate cuts next year. The US dollar index still at 99.02, which is amazing. But you're in a situation now where you're watching Japan, what's going on in their bond market. Now I think you're going to see the Japanese rates go up. And when that goes up, of course, our rates are going down at the same time. That's going to put pressure on the US dollar. So I still see that dollar index rolling over. A year out from now, if you go to January of 2027, I'm sticking to my model. I see gold at 7,500,
Hmm.
silver at 125, the US dollar index at 90. And I think if you look out 3 or 5 years after that, I think the index on the US dollar goes down to closer to 70. So you're in the perfect storm for gold and silver right now as you head into 2026. People just have to do the right thing. Don't concentrate on the prices up or down daily. Don't be a gambler, be an investor. Think about what happened in countries not far from us, Venezuela and Argentina. These numbers are amazing. In 2000, so just 24 years ago, 25 years ago, 200 bolivars in Venezuela, that got you a gold bar. Now it's 327 million bolivars.
Wow.
And in Argentina, it went from 270 pesos in 2000 to now 50,000 pesos for the same amount of gold. That's going to happen here as well. We're following the same path. We're diluting our fiat currency into the ground, just like they have. And you're seeing these problems pop up all around the world. I mean, Japan right now is fighting off a financial crisis, but they can't stop it for very long. You cannot keep this rate of spending. Right now, the United States government spending makes up 40% of our GDP.
Which is crazy, hey? That's crazy.
Unsustainable.
Yeah.
The entire G7, I think most of the nations there are already in a debt trap or headed into one. And the only answer out of all that is hard assets. And who keeps buying up the hard assets? Not the G7. It's all going out to the east. The United States right now, I know we've put off this audit in Fort Knox. I think we've put it off and off on purpose. I think the gold's actually there, but I think there's IOUs written on it 1,000 times over.
Oh yeah, it's
Hi, I'm Michael Piccioni, founder and president of Can-Am Bullion. At Can-Am Bullion, we are more than just a precious metals dealer. We are your trusted partner in securing your financial future. As an authorized dealer of the Royal Canadian Mint, we take pride in offering only the highest quality gold and silver products. And with our best price guarantee, you can trust that you're getting the most value for your investment. We offer free, no obligation consultations with one of our precious metals experts. Our commitment to excellence has earned us a 5-star Google rating, a shopper-approved seal of approval, and an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. These accolades reflect our dedication to transparency, integrity, and exceptional customer service. Are you ready to take the first step towards financial security? Contact Can-Am Bullion today for your free consultation. Let us help you build a brighter future with the power of precious metals.
oh yeah, it's leased out to this country, that country. Nobody knows how much is the amount that the U.S. owns in there that's under theirs.
Yeah, and that's the thing. We've built kind of a house of cards, and now the question is, as we implode this financial system and move to a more stable one, can we do it in a planned, more calm implosion? People have to understand it's coming. Do not give up your hard assets. If you have land, don't sell it. If you have dollars sitting in the bank, buy a hard asset. Buy something you can hold physically in your hand. Gold, silver, platinum, land, anything like that will help you get through what's coming. But we're headed for very tough times. I don't see any way around it. And the
Yeah.
majority of the people are not prepared for it. I mean, what we saw happen in this, in the Comex, to see something like that happen that quickly, just from out of the blue, bang. What happens when you get the next large order comes through? They're going to have the same problem come up where they're going to offer a cash settlement. And if that group says, no, we want our physical metals, you have a default. And who would have ever thought you'd
Would,
see
would
this?
would it ever actually default, or will they make up an excuse? Will they like just you said they had technical issues? Will they just making up an excuse to keep pushing it?
I think this time they're trapped because countries are demanding physical delivery. So if they can't deliver, they're in default. And if they offer a cash settlement like they did this time, and the other party says, no, we don't, we want our metals, give it to us, then you have a default on your hands. And once that hits the wires, it changes everything because who's going to trust them from that point forward? If you put an order in for physical delivery, they'll give it to you if they have it. If not, tough. You know,
Yeah, which is crazy. Then what are you purchasing silver or gold for if they're not gonna if you're not gonna get delivery or if it's not even there, right?
yep. I think what they're doing right now is they're just doing it just out of survival, and they're saying to themselves, "Okay, we'll kick it down a can down the road a little bit farther." But we've seen this happen over and over again. I'll tell you, the banks right now, the amount of shorts that they're sitting on those bullion banks for them to cover those, the derivatives that are attached to them, you've got a mess that is just astronomical. So I don't see an easy way out of it, but I think the hope is that they can do a planned implosion, and then the people who screwed it all up are going to turn around to us and say, "Hey, we're going to come out and save you now, and we're going to bring this new currency out, and it's backed by a basket of commodities with gold as the anchor."
Right.
And we're all going to sit there and go, "Geez, thanks. Why didn't you do that? Why didn't you stay that way in 1971?"
Right.
You know? Yeah, back in 1971, I tell you what, when you had a girlfriend, you could never go over to their house because there were 6 or 8 kids in a mom and home, and they had a nice house in a good middle class neighborhood.
Right, right.
Both parents work. If you're lucky, they have 1 or 2 kids, and they still can barely make ends meet.
Which is crazy. It's sad.
The government did that. It didn't happen by accident. The government did that when they took us off the gold standard, and then we went to this fiat currency. They knew what they were doing at the time. I think they thought, well, this deal with the Saudis is going to work long term. But hey, historically, what's happened to every fiat currency? The same exact thing.
They all collapse. No,
Dirty.
absolutely. Yeah.
You can't, once they start spending, they can't stop. It's like an addict. And that's where they're at now. They're addicted to spending. If they stop, they'll probably have civil unrest. Uh, and if they keep it going, they're going to implode the currency. So the only way to go is just exactly what you're telling all your followers: stack. And don't pay attention to any of these technical analysts telling you you'll sell and then buy back when the market comes down to this. Just stack.
Yeah.
And if the market goes lower, stack a little bit more. If the market goes higher, just keep stacking. The bottom line is you're going to have that hard asset in your hands, and that's the thing that's going to save you and your family in that
Hmm.
period when we go through the transformation to the new currency.
Absolutely. No, you nailed it, Thomas. I totally believe in that and keep stacking every week, every 2 weeks, every month, whatever people can do, just so you can get yourself off this fiat currency and more dependent on yourself and hard assets. But Thomas, I want to thank you so much for coming down and speaking to the silver and gold community. Before you go, though, where can they connect with you? I'd want them to connect with you to follow your work.
Yeah, the easiest way is just shoot me a message on LinkedIn. I try to check in there at least once a day. So that's the easiest way to catch me no matter where I'm at.
Yeah, everyone, I highly recommend please follow Thomas Parilla on LinkedIn. I'll put the link in the description below. But Thomas, thank you so much for coming down. Like, what an exciting time it is for precious metals right now. Every day it's either up a dollar or two, or some days it's down a dollar. But no matter what, it's exciting.
I'll tell you, we're at the perfect phase too. You're up there in Canada. The nice part about this, you go through these cycles. I mentioned cycles in life. I break down every time I go to the gym now. Same thing in the gold and silver markets. There's always a cycle. And the first part is the gold and silver, the physical prices take off and shoot. And after that, the big producers like Newmont take off. And now we're in that cycle where the exploration miners take off. It's just a cycle, goes through it.
Yeah.
And the producers start looking for more supply. And clearly, we've got shortages. We need supply. So those companies that are up there in your neck of the woods, boy, the Golden Triangle, I think is going to turn red hot. Goliath Resources, Juggernaut, Dolly Varden. Good grief, you've got Double View up there. There's so many nice companies right now. A person can put together their own little mutual fund of exploration miners. And of course, down here in the United States, I've always liked, Mike Scar's got Arizona Gold and Silver. That's probably my only holding down here in the U.S. But I think a person should go in there and put together a nice package of 10 or 15 exploration mines that they really like and hold those things, because
Yeah.
this is when the acquisition market's going to heat up. It's just a cycle. So if you look at it, this is the part that's going to heat up in 2026.
Yeah, no, you nailed it. I totally agree with you. Thomas, thank you so much for coming down and speaking to the silver gold community. It's such a huge pleasure as always. Everyone watching, please go follow Thomas Parilla on LinkedIn. And yeah, Thomas, as the market develops, love to have you back on soon.
Fantastic. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. Take care, Thomas.
Thanks, Ivan.